know all my niggas can feel me on this. Everybody that was good on all that and you got played by that girl.
Alright, y'all. What's poppin'? What's good? What's up? What's up? What's up? It's your boy, Cardinal Red, and we are back for another one. And we feel like settling down. Alright, y'all. So the topic of today is going to be Terence Crawford is ducking Yordenis Ugas after Manny Pacquiao victory. Strap season. Alright, y'all. So why am I saying this? Well, basically, Terence Crawford reportedly just signed to fight Shawn Porter. They're saying it's a done deal. A lot of channels are reporting that it's already a done deal. The fight's ready to go. Alright, so a couple of videos ago, I said, it would be in Terence Crawford's best interest at the moment to go after you guys for one reason. Terence Crawford, his whole problem up until this point with getting that Errol Spence Jr. fight, in Errol Spence's mind, that he's the A side of that fight. And Terence Crawford and Bob Arum don't want to be the B side of that fight. But according to Errol Spence's argument, is because Errol Spence is the unified champion of the world and he draws a bigger crowd than Crawford. And at the moment, it's up in the air for Crawford to go after you guys because Errol Spence is out of the picture. And if he beats you guys, he would be a unified champion. He would have the super title and the, what does he have? He has the IBF championship, I believe. See the IBF, the WBO or the IBF champion. He has the WBO championship. Yeah. So Pacquiao had the WBA. Errol Spence has the IBF and the WB. I can't remember. It's so many belts. I can't remember all these things. But Errol Spence has the IBF and another one. I believe Terence Crawford has the WBO. You guys has the WBA super title. I can't remember what the other one that Errol Spence has. But if Terence Crawford wants to make a name for himself, at the moment, he has a golden opportunity where if he goes ahead and fights Shawn Porter, in my mind, that means that there's a great chance for that Pacquiao you guys rematch to happen. Because we know you guys is not going to be fighting Errol Spence anytime soon, and neither is anybody else. So, there's a golden opportunity sitting there for Terence Crawford to easily become a unified champion of the world because nobody believes you guys can beat him. I, on the other hand, believe that you guys is a very, very bad matchup for Terence Crawford. And I believe, don't quote me on this, but I believe you guys already beat Terence Crawford in the amateurs. So, you guys already proved that he can beat that man. And now I think as professionals, seeing what he was able to accomplish against Pacquiao, even though I still think Pacquiao gave him a heck of a fight, and there were a few, missteps by Team Pacquiao that caused him to lose that fight. I do now believe, I've said in the past, I think Terence Crawford would beat him, but I think that looping punch that you guys was throwing would give Terence Crawford a world of trouble. I feel like that he would be able to work his jab and that looping punch and keep Terence Crawford at a distance. He might not be able to knock Crawford out, but I do think he can outpoint Crawford just using that looping punch in different ways than he used it against Pacquiao. He used it against Pacquiao because Pacquiao was right in front of him. It was very easy for him to land that punch when Pacquiao was right in front of him. I know everybody's going to say, well, Terence Crawford is not going to be standing right in front of you guys. I totally agree with you. But I think in the times that Terence Crawford tries to engage, that's the perfect time for you guys to throw that looping punch not toward the head to try to knock him out, but toward the body to try to slow him down. And I think that would give, because I don't see anything that Terence Crawford has in his arsenal that can, be a how can I put this? That can be a counterpoint to that looping punch. I don't see anything that he has that he does extremely well that would be a counterpoint to that looping punch. I think you guys will really be able to land that thing often, similar to how he landed it on Pacquiao. Even though he was landing it more on Pacquiao's face, and that's the height difference thing. Pacquiao was right in front of him. Plus, when he threw it, he was throwing it straight toward Pacquiao's face. On Terence Crawford, I think Terence Crawford is a few inches taller than Pacquiao, maybe an inch and a half taller than Pacquiao. So that punch would be landing more on the shoulder and the chest area of Terence Crawford, where it was landing on the face area of Pacquiao. So I think it would be the ultimate weapon for you guys to actually beat Terence Crawford. And that you guys has already beaten him in the amateurs. He has a game plan, I'm pretty sure, already in his head of what he would use to beat Crawford. Now, Crawford, on the other hand, he's a speedy guy. No, don't get me wrong. He would be able to use some side-to-side movement to where we didn't see Pacquiao, because he said his legs went on him, use side-to-side movement. That would be a golden opportunity for Crawford to use some side-to-side movement to stay away from that punch. But I think if you guys was to use it in the correct manner, he would be able to catch Crawford still moving side to side with that looping punch. He's not as fast as Pacquiao. Now, if we was to see the Pacquiao that fought Thurman, he would not have been landing them looping punches. That's the one thing that we know about Pacquiao, is that when guys try to throw looping punches against him, they usually have a really bad night. I.e. Cotto, Margarito, even Thurman tried to throw a lot of looping punches and it didn't work for him. Brandon Rios tried to throw a lot of looping punches and it didn't work for him. So I think that would be it would be a great punch in the Crawford fight, where I think if we do get a Pacquiao you guys rematch, I don't think that looping punch is going to work as well as it did in the first fight. I think Pacquiao is going to be extremely prepared for that. I think he's going to use a lot more side-to-side movement and motion to stay away from that punch. Not to say Terence Crawford can't do the same thing. Crawford is a talented fighter, but you guys has the one up on him already if he already beat him in the amateurs. We know you guys can beat him. He has a game plan to beat Terence Crawford. And I think Terence Crawford is beatable. I don't think he's the Superman that he's being made out to be. And I think, it's been proven in the past that he ducked Pacquiao. People saying that Spence is ducking Crawford. I would say that they're avoiding each other to keep their O. I don't think one is ducking the other. I would say that they're both, avoiding each other and making good money, keeping their O intact. And I would say both of those guys avoided Manny Pacquiao or ducked Manny Pacquiao, and they both have been ongoingly ducking Yordenis, you guys. And it really goes to show the state of boxing. You guys, he deserves his respect. He just beat a legend. Whether Pacquiao's legs were gone or whatever you want to say, he did beat a legend, and he is the super champion. And I think he deserves that big shot. I think it would be a great matchup if Terence Crawford decided to take him on. I'm not sure why he picked Shawn Porter. I feel like Shawn Porter is not as good as you guys, because if you ask 9 out of 10 people, they're going to say you guys beat Shawn Porter when they fought. I personally watched that fight. I think you guys got him by a point. I was really, really disappointed when I saw the scorecards and how they actually scored that fight. I think you guys actually won that fight by 1 point. It was close, but you guys got him by a point. So if you guys has already beaten Porter, he's beaten Crawford, he's a better fighter than both of those guys. And I think he deserves a little more recognition and a shot at Terence Crawford at this point. I don't see why Crawford is going after Porter if it's strap season. I put that in there because I thought these guys said it's strap season. It's all about the titles. We're here to unify titles, and redefine the sport of boxing and all this. You know, they both had a chance when Pacquiao was sitting out there trying to get a fight with both of those guys to redefine the sport. They both had a chance before they stripped Pacquiao of the titles to fight him and redefine the sport, and they never did. Now Pacquiao's no longer the champion. They got you guys out there who they've been avoiding all this time, and he's now a champion. And if you guys feel like y'all can beat him so easily, why is nobody going after Yordenis you guys? Why all of a sudden is the interest being shifted to Shawn Porter? Take nothing away from Shawn Porter. He's a decent fighter, but I feel like the highest tier of boxing at the moment, excluding Keith Thurman because he hasn't fought in 2 years, is Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford, and then Yordenis you guys. And then you got a few other names that have been a little more active than Shawn Porter has. So I wouldn't even say that Shawn Porter is the top tier of welterweight anymore. You know, you got to start putting the names like Jamal James in there. You got, because he's I believe he's the regular champion now, and you got to start Josh Taylor. You got to throw him in there. Even though I think he's light welterweight, he's not full welterweight yet. I think he's fighting at 140 or something like that. But you still have to respect these guys. You got to start putting their name in there because they've been more active than a guy like Shawn Porter. So, you know, let me know what y'all think. Is Terrence Crawford ducking not only Manny Pacquiao, Errol Spence Jr., but now Yordenis you guys too? You know, I thought it was strap season. I thought it was all about unifying titles and making title fights and the best fighting the best. Let me know what y'all think. Hit that like button for me. Please subscribe, man. It's your boy Cardinal Red. If you want to be a part of the Cardinal Red Room Sports community, Ali Land Boxing Talk community, you know, the whole Cardinal Red community, man, hit me up in the comment section on Instagram, Facebook, you know, the WhatsApp, wherever you find me. Even though I don't got the WhatsApp at the moment, I had to delete it. It's taking up too much space. If you do music or anything, man, you want to have an interview or anything, holler at me, man. I'm willing to interview. I'm willing to, you know, broadcast your music. As long as it's not copyrighted, we don't get no copyright strikes. I'm down for all that, man. So, trying to share the platform back to the community, man. So, definitely, man. Let's jam out for a second. It's your boy Red, and we are out of here.
Yeah. Sam Walsh. You know, all my niggas can feel me on this. Everybody that good on all that. And you got played by that girl. He was getting played by that girl. Just tell y'all something happened, you know what I'm saying?